Hi everybody, this is going to help us eliminate passive voice in your papers, okay? So I could talk to you right now as a grammarian, and I could explain to you that the passive voice is the opposite of the active voice, and I could explain that the passive voice takes the object of a sentence and turns it into the subject of that sentence. And I could explain that it is constructed by taking a stative verb and linking it up with a past participle of another verb. And as you can already see, that's quite mind numbing and confusing if you don't know grammar really well, and learning all that stuff very quickly is going to be a task all in itself, even before you start to apply it to what passive voice is. Moreover, there are grammar books and internet pages out there that do all that kind of stuff from the perspective of grammar. So if you want to find that way of learning it, go for it. Type passive voice into a search engine of your choosing and look for it, or take your grammar book out from class and look for it there. I'm going to approach this from a much more kind of mechanical, practical, get it done point of view. And so the way we do that is we have to find it first. So how do you even find the passive voice in your paper? So the way you find passive voice in your paper is to search for verbs that end in ed. Go to your search window up here in the corner, kind of small in this video, and type ed space. Now, why do we put in the space? Because we want to capture the eds at the end of words. We don't want to get an ed, for example, from like education. Ed is at the beginning of that word, and that ed is not what we're looking for. We only want the eds at the ends of words. Great, we've captured them all. You look through the whole paper, and if I scroll down, you're just going to see eds all over the place, right? Now, not all of those are passive voice. The next step is we have to decide which ones are and which ones aren't. You need to look for an ed that has in front of it a form of to be. And here's the list of all the ways that to be can appear in writing. Is, am, are, was, were, be, being, been, been, been. Whatever part of the world you're from, you will say that your own little unique way. All right, so you're going to look for one of these in front of an ed word. So the very first one is called, C-A-L-L-E-D. Is there a form of to be in front of it? Why, yes, there is. And it's is called. That is passive voice. Okay, before we start fixing passive voice, let's just find passive voice, because I want to show you how it can show up in different ways. Okay, the next one is beloved. Ed at the end. Is there a form of to be in front of it? No. Her, H-E-R, is not is, am, are, was, were, be, being, been. So next. Dun, 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 dun. Depended. Okay. His or her depended. Well, no to be. Upon beloved. Well, upon is not a to be. Subjugated. Be subjugated. That's another passive voice. There you go. We're going to have to fix that later. Okay, we go on. Annoyed is annoyed. Another passive voice. Beloved, his beloved, not passive voice. Beloved, his beloved, no. Okay. Frustrated is frustrated. Passive voice. You can see that identifying the passive voice is pretty easy. Okay. Now, sometimes it might be a little trickier. Let's see if I can find a tricky one for us here. So, novel called. Novel is not a form of to be, right? A girl called. A girl named. A girl named. Named is not a form. I'm sorry. Girl is not a form of to be. Okay, so let me just find someone that might be trickier. Okay, mother is untouched, unmatched. There we go. Mother is unmatched. Is unmatched. That's passive voice, right? Okay, so we go down, we go down. Were completed. Okay. Were is a form of to be. All the way back up at the top. Remember, there it is. Were. So this were completed. Now if I can find that again quickly. Yeah, were completed. So that's passive voice. The way it can get confusing sometimes is that here's is engaged. Sometimes the form of to be is not like right next to the ed verbs. Let me just change this one here and give you an example. Is always engaged. All right. Now, if you find the ed there, engaged, and you look right in front of it, you're going to see always. But look a little farther back. You know that to be might not be sitting directly next to the verb, or well, the verb with the ed in it. So you've got to look a little bit around. Now, not too far away. So, for example, if we go right back up at the top, there was a to be. Here's that beloved that we looked at before, and we said her isn't to be. Well, all the way back here, we've got an is. That's really far away. I mean, it might be. It could be connected, but you now have to start using just your common sense. So don't overthink it. Keep it mostly simple. You'll know the sound of passive voice when you hear it, especially after you've found all of those easy constructions. You'll start to get familiar with, the pizza was eaten by the dog, was eaten. You'll just hear it, and then you'll read something more complicated like this, and you'll pretty much know whether it's passive voice or not. So I think for now we're going to stop here. You definitely know how to find the eds at the ends of words. Look 1 or 2 words back, see if there's a form of to be. If there is, you're going to get rid of that passive voice and make it active, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do in the next video.